Hello, and welcome to our Aging and Spirituality podcast. I'm Chris Jensen,
Hi, I'm Kathy Lee Taylor.
and we are looking so forward to sharing with you today. We like to share things from our lives, from our experience of practicing yoga and the benefits of that, because it's made a difference for us. As we get older, it's just bringing more and more joy and upliftment into our lives. So we want to share all that with you. And today I have a sort of different kind of topic, very relevant to having a better life as we age. And my question is, who is in charge of your life really? Are you doing the things you really want to do, or do you feel pressured by the requests and demands of others? Or are you falling into old habits and then frustrated that you didn't do what you want? We all have those experiences.
Yeah.
But stay tuned because I'm going to share some steps that are pretty easy, I think, to do so you can become the boss of your life. When we all want to be the boss of our
I'm
lives,
bossy.
of our lives, not someone else's.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. So what do I mean by being the boss of your life? A great yogi from a previous century, Patanjali, said, self-discipline is freedom. So becoming self-discipline is all about being the boss of our life, and that's about freedom.
Wow.
When we think about the word self-discipline, we often cringe. First time I heard that, I thought, who wants that? We think it means doing things we don't like or what we don't really want to do, but that's not what it means at all. It means the freedom to choose who you are and what you really want to do for yourself. Some examples. Maybe you've heard how meditation can help you release stress, enjoy greater love and harmony in your life. You want to do it, but instead you sit down and watch a movie on TV that you don't even really care about. You ever done that? We all have. Or you sit there and munch some cookies that you know aren't good for you, but they taste good in the moment.
Make you feel good for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. At this point, you need to ask yourself, who's the boss? Let's say, I've heard all this about meditation, learned this simple technique. I want to do it, and I'm about to sit on the couch and watch this movie that I've seen 15 times before. And then I ask myself, who's the boss here? All of a sudden, you make a different choice. It's a simple question, but it usually works because the answer is obvious. It's obvious. And, pressure from other people is a big reason that we don't always choose exactly what we want or what's best for us. Let me tell you a personal example of something that happened to me this week, or was it this week, or maybe it's the end of last week. It was
Whatever.
very recent. So I have been teaching at the yoga center for, gosh, I've studied there for over 40 years. I think I've been teaching for close to 40 years. And I've been a manager there for 27 years. And I spend a lot of time as a volunteer because I care and I want people to get this. And I do all this online stuff. So I spend a phenomenal amount of time doing all this. And we started our online classes at the yoga center when COVID came. And we continue that because it's very helpful for people. And I am one of the people that does that. So I have an elderly mother-in-law and my daughter has a baby, and I'm very careful about because I certainly don't want to bring COVID to one of them. They're both in very vulnerable populations. So I have not been physically at the yoga center. And because of that, I don't want to put them in harm. And since we have this wonderful online experience, so this one person said to me earlier this week or last week, calls me up and says, "Oh, someone said, did you tell never have to yoga center again?" I said, "What?" I said, "I spend so much time in this service." I said, "What are you talking about?" And this person was carrying on and on about, well, you could just come sometimes. And I said, if these people want to see me, I'm teaching classes online all week.
Yeah, come online and talk to me.
Come on, I'm there. Come and see me. they don't come to classes, they don't do anything, they just want me to do something that I don't want to do because I don't think it's good for the people I'm around. And so it just went on, and I found myself, and I was very clear. And like this person said, well, I talked to this other person, I said this to them, and they came the next week, and they said, well, that's nice, but I'm not going to do that.
Mhm.
So afterwards, I found myself aggravated.
Sure, I bet.
Really, really aggravated. And so then I thought, okay, being really clear. While this person was talking, I found myself getting aggravated, but I said, who's the boss? And I knew what I was not going to, comply with what this person wanted, but I got thrown off center.
Right.
So, when I got, and I did yoga practice to get back to center, and I looked at, why I got so thrown off center and aggravated about it. And it's because this happens all the time, not necessarily in this particular situation or about, service somewhere, but people are always trying to do that. Growing up, and, everyone wants to kind of tell you who you should be or what you
should do.
What you should be doing based on what they want and their experience. And it just was very clear. Who's the boss of my life? Me, my true self. My true self knows what's right. It's going to stick to it. And I was able to take that center and be very clear about that. So we're going to do a practice that I want to share, because in addition to asking that important question, who's the boss, because that's really all you need to know. If you get off center, this will help. This technique is called the fountain breath. It's phenomenal. It's just a wonderful practice. But what happens, and I'm going to get into this a little bit, is that we need to be, if we look at who's the boss, we want to be the boss of our lives. Our thoughts. We need to be the boss of our thoughts, because it was my thoughts being aggravated and saying, oh, this person's trying to bully me. I don't accept bullying, blah, 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 blah. Rather than all I had to say was, no, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
That's really all I had to say, and be very clear about it. Yeah. I went through this process. And so I realized that it's being the boss of our thoughts as well. And there's a quote from Patanjali, the yogi I mentioned earlier. He said, the highest level of self-discipline is the self-discipline of the mind. Manage your thoughts well, and let the things you do bring more value to more people, so that our lives will all be in an ascendant stage. Naturally, your heart will be full of energy and things will go smoothly. When we have better control of our thoughts, then we stay centered, we stay in that loving, heart-centered place, and our higher self can come through. So being the boss of our thoughts is tricky, as I learned myself after many, many years of yoga. It was a brief throwing off, but I got thrown off. I came back, but still. And one of the reasons that people are impulsive, say things they regret, have a hard time with stress, meditation, is because their thoughts are all over the place. So when you find yourself in a situation where you're, get thrown off, where you're aggravated or your mind is busy, you need to ask that question, first of all, like, what do I really want right now? Who's the boss right now of my mind?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Your teacher. It feels like when you say you're asking yourself who's the boss of your mind, it wasn't so much that your mind gets off, but that your emotions got involved, and then you got aggravated. And then when you're able to get back to your thoughts and just go, nah, this is how I want to respond, this is how I feel about it. But what do you do? Like, are you too far gone if you have that emotional response? Is there something else happening there that you should be paying attention to before you can get back to that state of being in charge of your thoughts?
Well, we always say that thoughts and feelings are connected.
Right. Yeah.
When I say mind, I don't mean just thoughts. I mean,
Mhm.
behind every thought, there's a feeling,
Okay.
pretty
That's
much.
important to distinguish because most people wouldn't understand that.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because every thought has a feeling attached to it, just about.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and so that's where we want to get. We want to get so that we have some sense of, I mean, I could have just said, no, I'm not doing that, and hung up,
Yeah.
And so that's where we want it. That would be the place to be. And I do want to share, in addition to, I mean, saying who's the boss is what brings you back really fast. But this practice will help you to stay centered. It'll help those thoughts and feelings to stay more calm in general. It's called the fountain breath, and it's a very easy thing to do. So we're going to do a couple of fountain breaths right now. And I want you to do first is notice your mind and your emotions. Just close your eyes for a second and see what they feel like. See what's going on in there. Now, put your awareness, we're going to check again after we do the fountain breath a few times. Put your awareness at the base of your spine. We're going to inhale, and as we do, we're going to visualize a white light coming up our spine, comes into our forehead, above our head, and then as we exhale, it exhales into a shower of white light that pours down over our brain, all the way down to our shoulders. Let's do one of those together, and then we're going to do 3 or 4 on your own. So put our awareness at the base of the spine. We inhale, bringing that light up the spine, into the forehead, above the head, and then exhale. That white light showers down over your head, coming all the way. It can come all the way down, all the way over your entire body if you want. And you can just enjoy that showering from you. And now at your own rate, let's do 3 more of those breaths. And just for a few moments, enjoy that white light pouring down over you. Now, notice your mind. Is it more calm? Is it more clear? Do you feel better? Okay. So let's bring our attention back and
Wow.
go for
Peaceful.
you, Kathy.
Well, so peaceful. I mean that, and it's very cooling for the body, but I just felt like, oh, this rain's coming down over me like a forest, and my mind was just completely open and relaxed and peaceful, just like, nothing is bothering me. Just really, really open and receptive kind of place.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea. So anytime you need it, this was not hard to do, right? You could sit
Not
down. We did 4, I do 4 or 5 of these fountain breaths and just sit there for a moment. I think, that's why I like to have people notice their mind and emotions before and afterwards, because you can really see a difference. So 2 things to take away from today. Who's the boss?
right.
And the fountain breath.
The fountain breath you know what it makes me think? It makes me think you can make space for anything in your life. So when you get into that place where you just got irritated, your mind gets tweaked, like, what the did that person just say to me? And then your mind, then your heart's going, I'm gonna kick her ass. And then that's me, not Chris. She wouldn't do that, but I would. But so then I get into that place where I have to create space now because I've got myself contracted, So the fountain breath just opens the space up from the bottom of your spine all the way up to the top of your head and down. And all of a sudden, you let go of everything, you let go of the mind, you let go of the emotions. That whole reaction is not even there anymore. You don't have to respond to it. It doesn't matter anymore. You're not stuck on it, and you're completely open to moving on. You just created space for yourself. That's control. That's being the boss, man. That's controlling what's happening in your world.
Yep. And
Yep.
You can have so much more fun.
Right. You're definitely going to have much more fun when your friends piss you off. You can,
right.
You can come back to having fun.
So let us know. Let us know how you're doing with it. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions about it, let us know that too.
Yeah. Do the fountain. See you next week.
Good.
Bye.
Bye.